This is Sex Addictions and Porn Addictions, and I am your host, Craig Pera of www.themindfulhabit.com. And this is a podcast to help you create healthy sexuality and live a great life. And the reason why there are those two things, because those two things are inexorably intertwined, meaning they cannot be separated. The goal must be healthy sexuality. The goal must be create a great life. And that makes even more sense when you understand the momentum that is driving you to lie about some aspect of your sexual expression, right? Goes all the way back to childhood. To counterbalance that means that you're getting your needs met proactively. That means that you are living your purpose, right? These are all things that you have to do to exercise self-control over a long period of time. And in this podcast, I want to talk about that one thing. And I'm sorry for the trick, right? So total clickbait title. What's the one thing you must do in order to be successful? Listen, you're here. And the reason why I did that way, because I felt if I was going to do a podcast on sleep, many of you might not click. So what I want to do in this podcast, this broadcast, is to prove to you that sleep is mandatory. Good sleep is mandatory. I want to prove it to you. I welcome the challenge. I want you to come out of this with an awareness that this is a problem that you have to solve. That there is absolutely no way that you can create agency and control unless you get a good night's sleep. I promise you. That is the deliverable of this broadcast. Self-care is critical. Self-care is like so fundamental. It's so basic. And listen, it is a place where so many people struggle. Before we get into what happens when you get shitty sleep and what to do about it, I want to say some words about an amazing man named Eric, who has been with the Mindful Habit for over 2 years. Beautiful, loving, kind, driven man who shared so much of his journey with me. And it was truly an honor and a privilege to be by his side, to help him create healthy sexuality and a great life. And he passed. Eric died. He didn't get vaccinated, which he regrets, and got his family vaccinated before he died, and went to vacation. Anyway, he died, and he was such an incredible man. He was an engineer, so he did well in the program too, because he really connected with structure. He actually helped me build a couple of templates that we use in the program to make it better. So, brothers, please take care of yourselves. Please do the right thing for you and your family. And I just want to acknowledge Eric and thank him for sharing his journey with me and acknowledge that privilege. So, here's what happens when you get a shitty sleep. In memory issues. Oh, and this is an article the effects of sleep deprivation on your body on healthline.com. Memory issues. So the point is, here's the case I'm building, right? My attorney-minded training, I'm going to prove to you that you must solve this difficult problem. This acknowledged struggle with sleep my whole life, but it is a problem you must solve. And it's not fair for you to expect results. It's not fair for you to expect results if you're not getting good sleep. It's not fair. Don't put that burden on yourself. It's not fair. It's that important. So what can it do? Bad sleep causes memory issues. Bad sleep, people who don't sleep well have trouble with thinking and concentration. They get in more accidents. Sleep deprivation can make you moody, emotional, and quick-tempered. Chronic sleep deprivation can affect your mood and lead to anxiety or depression, which may escalate. Poor sleep means you have a weakened immune system against viruses. You have a weakened immune system against the virus in your mind, driving you to numb, cope, and escape. Bad sleep equals high blood pressure, risk for diabetes, weight gain, low sex drive, risk of heart disease, and poor balance. Think, and it means that you will not be able to exercise self-control. You just can't. Oh, put that back. So what do you do about it, right? I want this to be a podcast where you get value. I want to demonstrate how important it is for you to solve this problem. And I guess I want to acknowledge that this is hard. Some of you are going to get to the end of this list of things that you have to do. And you might end up in the doctor's office with a sleep study. There may be a medical solution to help you with your problem. So I want to acknowledge that, easy for you to say. It's not easy for me to say. I struggled with poor sleep my entire life. My pattern was staying up wicked late, right? Watching porn, staying up wicked late, and not sleeping. And video games and porn. And then have to get up early and perform and grind until the weekend I felt like I was going to collapse. Of course, all I wanted to do was to numb, cope, and escape. Of course, I wasn't able to control myself in a healthy, constructive way. And I never ended up getting the sleep study, but I found by just about doing every single thing that I'm going to talk about now, helped me. And it wasn't one thing. That's the other problem too. It's not one thing. But I really, really implore you to prioritize sleep. And I promise your life will get better. I can promise that your life will get better. And here's a question I invite you to ask yourself. Is what I'm doing right now in terms of sleep and self-care, is what I'm doing right now sustainable? Is what I'm doing right now sustainable? And chances are the answer is no. If it's no, you must take action. You must do something about it. So we're going to go from the least onerous to the most onerous with some tips to help you get a better sleep. And what I'm reading from is a chapter from a book by Dr. David Hanscom. He has this chapter available, Got Back in Control. If any of you are struggling with chronic pain, you need to know who Dr. David Hanscom is. His program, The Doc Journey, literally changed my life. It opened me up to another layer of consciousness and awareness and had a big impact on how I teach the mindful habit. I am so grateful for this man, a complex spine surgeon who has dedicated his life to helping people who suffer from chronic pain to feel better. He's a beautiful man, and I'm grateful that I got to know him. If you are struggling with chronic pain, please, Dr. David Hanscom and his book, Back in Control. So sleep hygiene, number one, is a term for a group of strategies used to improve the consistency of sleep. And by the way, everything here, evidence-based, data-driven, take this to the bank. So here's some sleep hygiene concepts. Now listen, I'm saying this again. I'm sorry for saying this again, but I know it's not one thing. I know not one thing is going to work, but if you combine 3 or 4 of these strategies at the same time, and you can make it a little bit better, if you can make it a little bit better, you can make it a lot of bit better. It's just going to take a lot of little bits to equal a lot of little bits to equal a lot of it. So don't get into bed until you're ready to fall asleep. Watch TV, read, etc. in another room. Now, listen, I know you know all this. I know you know all this, but I'll tell you, everyone that I've ever worked with, self-care game is not where they need it to be. And just about everybody's sleep, especially us men, no, partners too. You ladies who are listening, come on. Are you getting good night's sleep? And chances are, no, there's so much pain. The nighttime is when a lot of women say they get activated, their mind starts to wander. So this is for everybody. Minimize alcohol intake in the evening. Avoid heavy exercise in the evening. Exercise is awesome, but heavy exercise to bedtime might keep you awake. Do something relaxing just before going to bed. Have a light snack if you're hungry. I don't like to eat at night. And do something relaxing before going to bed. Having a routine at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, can change your life. And having this patterns of behavior that help you release. And this next one is huge. And it's concentrate on relaxing each muscle group in your body from head to toe. So that means you close your eyes, and if I was lying down, you relax your toes, relax your ankles, relax your feet, relax your calves, relax your shins, relax your knee, relax your quad, relax your thigh, etc., etc. Name each body part in your mind and picture yourself letting go, releasing tension in that body part. There's a great resource that I recommend you check out. You can go on to YouTube. It's called Yoga Nidra. Yoga, Nidra. It is a wonderful technique that literally you just put that video on or that YouTube video, and they release each tiny muscle at a time. And before you know it, you are out. I love Yoga Nidra. It's it represents for me a journey into my body. So because if I can release a certain layer of tension in my body, that means I have awareness around my ability to relax that muscle group. And when you start this exercise and then you realize, or you go 30 days from now, what are you're going to have a completely different awareness around your body. And remember, the body's important because it is in the body. You need a body solution because it is in the body. What do I mean by it? That energy shift in your body from positive to negative, the triggers and the thoughts that you are numbing, coping, and escaping from. That's physiological response. PMO, that's a physiological response. So because it's in the body, you need a body solution. So concentrate on relaxing each muscle group in your body from head to toe. It's a form of mindfulness that switches your attention away from your swirling thoughts. Here's another one. Stress management at bedtime. When you are under stress from either mental or physical pain, your brain is on a Formula One racetrack. It's hard to slow down. So again, so important to have that evening routine to get you in that place where your body is at least more receptive to sleep. So don't read your emails within an hour of bedtime. Don't leave your smartphones or leave your smartphone and laptop devices in another room. Don't bring them to bed. Don't bring your phone in bed. The light from your phone makes your body think awake. The color of that light, it is bad for you. It is poison. Don't discuss controversial issues with your partner within a couple of hours of bedtime. I know that's hard, but that's an agreement that Michelle and I had to come to. She wanted to talk about things at night. When this ruptured, I needed sleep, and I knew I had to function. I knew I wasn't going to be successful. I didn't get sleep. So it's very important for you men to honor your partner and do everything you can to support them and love them. And please don't expect results. It's only fair, right? Don't expect results if you're not getting a good night's sleep. That's not fair to anybody. You need it. You need it. You need it. You need it. So That's what I falls into what I call the rules of engagement category. And that's when husband, wife, partner, um, comes up with an agreement of, when they're going to talk about serious issues, when they're going to have a check-in, and it's hard, but protecting the sanctity of bedtime is it's really that important. This is one of those things that and everybody goes duh, and it is what it is, and we've all tried little bits and things, but really make you getting a good night's sleep a project. That a project with a beginning, middle, and end. In 30 days and 60 days, I want to be sleeping better. And all you're looking to do is getting a little better. In fact, I do not recommend all of these things at once. Start small. Use Kaizen goal setting to get a better night's sleep. Because here's what happens, right? If let's say I'm going to do this, and this. I'm going to do everything on this list. We're only a quarter of the way through this list. I'm going to do everything on this list. One of my favorite questions, is it sustainable? And the answer usually is no. Those routines don't stick. They don't grok. They fade after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, after 4 weeks, whatever that time period is. So in this sleep better project that you are initiating, what if you could get 30 minutes more sleep each week? Now, if you're like at the end of your rope and you're, not sleeping at all, or not, getting hours of sleep, listen, go to a doctor. Okay, go to a doctor. I get to that at the end. Go to a doctor. And it's my overwhelming experience that there are things that you can do to make sleep better. So start small. Start small. Stress management at bedtime is critical. Regular exercise has been shown to have a modest effect on improving sleep. Like I said, not any one thing is going to work. It's going to be a combination. And here's a systematic review paper from Taiwan demonstrated that exercise shortened the length of time needed to fall asleep, improved the quality of sleep, and decreased the usage of sleep medications. It is complementary to other modalities improving sleep. So over-the-counter sleep medications, melatonin, antihistamines can help, but those can't be used for a long period of time. Over-the-counter sleep aids or kava. Now, listen, when it comes to this, supplements, be a grown-up, take responsibility for yourself. Don't take any advice that I'm giving you, but research and figure out, hey, what might work for me? I used to take melatonin. I've learned that taking too much of that isn't good. The body stops producing it. So when I'm really have trouble sleeping, I'll have a nighttime tea. There's a couple of sleep supplements, packaged things with passion fruit. And I don't even remember what's in it, but at Whole Foods. And I find that really, really helpful. So again, there's little things that you likely can do to make things better. And if that doesn't work, you got to go to a doctor. And if sleep hygiene, over-the-counter medication, supplements, stress management have not been successful in helping you experience restful sleep, it's time to work closely with your doctor to figure out which combination of prescription medications is best for you. Okay, go to a doctor. And listen, here's this, right? There's an important thing that he says here that I want to read to you. Once you started taking them, check with your doctor every 5 to 7 days. You have to be proactive here. You have to be proactive to report back how things are going. If the first treatment plan isn't working, adjustments should be made promptly so that you're sleeping well within 3 to 4 weeks. This is the kind of aggressive, solution-oriented approach that Dr. David Hanscom says that he has found to be most effective. And I have the utmost respect for that brilliant man. Do what he says. And if your doctor resists this kind of follow-up, don't back down. Calmly explain that getting sleep is central to your recovery program, one that you are taking seriously. If they resist again, don't be afraid to find another physician. So in this article, he talks about the different types of prescription medications, sedative hypnotics with anti-anxiety properties and those without anti-anxiety properties. And the other thing that can help you sleep is therapy. Therapy has been proven to impact better sleep. So when you can't sleep, because therapy teaches you to better manage anxiety and stress, which are just two modern words for fear. Therapy can help with that. Coaching can help with that. Addressing your childhood trauma, addressing your ACE scores, your adverse childhood experience scores. So people with a higher adverse childhood experience score, guess what? Suffer a number of medical problems. One of them, obviously, is not enough sleep. And then there are sleep disorders that require you to take a sleep disorder study. So I hope that you have learned something in this podcast to prioritize that what it is that you wish to accomplish. It's critical. It's critical. And when I have a bladder problem, and there was a time before I got onto the now listen, I'm 50 years old, and definitely embarrassed, and definitely felt a little shame around it. And then I'm like, first of all, I learned like how many people struggle with being honest around their sexual expression. That's most of us, brothers. And people who have bladder medication or who have bladder problems. That's a shitload of people. So I am not alone. So I have this problem and it would keep me up. I'd have to go 13, 14, 15 times. And I go one night without sleeping. I go another night without sleeping. The third day, I'm at the doctor's. The third day, I have an appointment. I tell them what's going on. Boom, gave me some medication that helped me get back on track. And we have since gotten the bladder situation under control, which has helped me tremendously. So this broadcast, I think, falls into the fundamental 5 category, the self-care category: eat well, sleep well, hydrate, exercise, and practice mindfulness. Eat, sleep, hydrate, exercise, and practice mindfulness. To break a habit, you have to make the right habit that meets the right need. And in your journey to exercise self-control, to master this part of yourselves, it is absolutely fundamental for you to get a good night's sleep. I hope you found value in this broadcast. Thank you so much for listening. It is truly an honor and a privilege to know you're out there and that you're listening to me and learning from my journey from hell to wherever I am right now, which is in a really proud place. I'm really happy. I injured my brachial plexus at the end of December and ruptured and I have permanent nerve damage in my hand. And I have physical therapy, I have occupational therapy. And I said going into that, listen, it was brutal. It was the worst pain of my entire life. I have been approved for neck surgery, even though it's in my brachial plexus. The insurance approved because my neck is such a mess. I couldn't sleep. I had to sit up, pillows around me, and Michelle's like, oh my God. And I'm thinking like, she must be going like, what the hell am I doing? like now my husband's even more of a gimp, more of a crippled. And it was so important for me to go back to basics. And I said to myself, how can I find the gift in this crisis? How can I find the gift crisis? And in so doing, I changed my relationship with pain. It just presented with me an opportunity to level up and to feel more connected. And right now, as I speak to you, my pain is the lowest that it has been in a long time. Now, I'm getting different pains because the nerve damage is contributing to atrophy in other areas. My chest is caved in a little bit. My hand is caved in where the muscle should be, the meaty part. And so I'm sharing this with you so you have the perspective that it has not been easy. In fact, was very, very, very difficult. And I was so scared. I was terrified. But the perspective that I brought to this injury, I like, practice what you preach. Find the gift. Find the gift. Find the gift. Find the gift in your suffering. Find the gift in your pain. The obstacle is the way. Brothers, thank you so much for listening. Have an awesome week and live your best life. If you need more help, hit themindfulhabit.com and maybe there's something there that can help you. Thank you for listening to this podcast.